What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Butler. It's the best day of my life tomorrow, and I promise go on do your little dance while they still playing your song. I'm just coming back from the gym, and we're gonna get to it early this morning. Well, not really early, but kind of sort of. So I've been doing research and going down these rabbit holes, man, and I know from just my naturalistic observation or what little understanding I have with Georgia history or American history that slavery ended in 1865. And for those of you who don't know, that was a long time ago. But I don't come across information that is saying that in some rural parts of the United States, slaves were still in play in 1960. Man, let's dive in. I don't know if these guys are gonna let me. I'm getting this from this particular site. Anaya Nawaya. So hopefully they won't flag me, but it's cause they don't flag me, I can tell. Okay, Maylu. Let's try this. No, let's try. That's the one. That's the one. American Slaves, 1960.
What they do to your mother?
On. And what was taking place? American still had slaves in the 1960s. Okay, so I ain't the only one that's up on this shit. Man, that's crazy. Family History of Slavery, Stonewall, 607. Untold Story of Slavery, 20th Century. Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. So, black slaves in the horror plantation where people are used as disposables. I was looking for a particular story who tracks down modern day slavery practices. Okay, let's see if it's vice. Perception of what's not my perception, but my understanding as to what's going on. So, in 1865, you have the Emancipation Proclamation, supposedly signed by Abraham Lincoln to free the slaves. The slaves are free technically, and there is some restraint. There is some combativeness. There is some all-out. Not no. So some of these plantation owners, slave owners, simply bucked on the United States. They bucked on the law. And it wasn't hard to do because you have some of these places in rural Mississippi, rural Georgia, and Alabama that some people are born, live, and die on the plantation. So what these individuals did was they didn't let them know that they was free. And nobody was going around to tell them, hey man, you free. So then they would bring in this new wave of slavery, and it was called sharecropping. And what they would do with the sharecropping is that they would tell you, hey, you can live here, you can earn this, but you have to pay rent. And the verbiage changed, but here's the situation. This is the same place where we were slaves at, and we worked for you, and we didn't ever get nothing. And what you have is a situation where we're going to be on this place. It's not a plantation no more. It's fields of freedom. And we're going to work for you, and we're not going to get nothing. Same thing with the Angola prison. And I'm going to do a video on that today as well. The Angola prison, where African American males do free labor because they're prisoners, is in the same place that the Angola plantation was. So it's just like the times have changed, the verbiage has changed, but the outcome has not changed. And then let's see how this. Hopefully, Vice will let me react off this video, man, because it is near and dear to my heart, bro. And I just couldn't fathom how we still had slaves in 19. That's 100 years, bro. That means that you was raising your people to, man. What I'm gonna say, people like Antoinette, bro. I have not met this lady. I would love to just sit down and just pick her brain, bro, cause people that work, and I know she don't get paid for the work that she do. I mean, she probably getting paid, but I know that she is putting that work in, folks, because she has dedicated her life to a cause that is very necessary, bro. I just tip my hat off to Antoinette, man. I wish I could drop one of Clue's bombs for Antoinette, because she is the shit. What do you do when you're born into a situation where you don't understand what freedom is? Because freedom is something that's new, and now you've got generations and generations of people that are telling you that you're supposed to be working on this land, and then they sell you they said, why did my computer start making noise? They sell you a dream, and this dream it's just put there to just man, it's just put there to just so you can continue to be a slave. And they still having their way, man. Is this how we trying to make America great again? Cause you saying this a man, it's a different kind of monster. You guys be saying y'all gangsters and y'all thugs. These is the gangsters. These motherfuckers, these the gangsters, home. I'm talking about these people held your people captive for take slavery out of the picture. These are people that slavery is over with, unlawfully holding your people at this time for 100 years. And everybody, they looking at the news like, yeah, they free. But you niggas you not free. You not free at all. Man. This need to be 1 million views, bro. I ain't even talking about my page. I'm talking about this. It's got like 100,000. Vice do got a lot of subscribers. I hope they allow me to do. Let me subscribe to that channel. I just subscribed. Please don't flag this, cause I want this story to be told on my page. Now, like, you still a slave. It sounds like you still like this. I've done deliveries for a number of companies in these rural areas, and there's a certain amount of hair that stands up on my neck when my phone service stops working, and I get out there and I see that everybody at this house is cross-eyed, and they got that. They start sizing you up, start asking you stupid sports questions like, you play a little ball in your day? Word to the wild. Whenever I go, when I'm in my truck, bro, I got 2 firearms with me and I have 4 magazines. Cause lo and behold, something happened and y'all have a slave flashback and think that I'm James or Gerald. I'm gonna make it home. Or if I'm not gonna make it home, I'm gonna shut this plantation down. I'm gonna shut this one down. This one it ain't gonna be no good. It ain't gonna be no good. But I have gone into homes. Ooh. I went into a home of a lady that was in Mississippi. Was it Mississippi? Man, I got that footage somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put her on blast. But when I went inside this home, bro, they had pictures of. They had Ancient Mama. What phone was it on? I think it's on this phone. Ancient Mama and watermelon. Let me see if I got it. Some southern people, they got watermelon in their homes, but it was just like a unhealthy amount of watermelons. What in the world? I'm gonna let this play, and I'm gonna. If you want to follow up, go to Vice, and they're gonna get. I want to see May Louise. May Louise seems to be Slavery made Louise Miller.
Imagine you and your family living in this barn, forced to live like animals and with animals. No heat, no electricity, none of the things we commonly take for granted. This is the case of one family, held as slaves up until the 1960s. We found this barn at Grange Hall Road and MS Highway 568 near Vicksburg, Mississippi in July 2009. This is the true life story of former slave May Louise Miller.
Well, you know, I came from a very poor family, and we was in slavery. We didn't have food, clothes, shoes. We really didn't have much of nothing. And the clothes we had was a cocoa sack. Each one of us had a cocoa sack with 3 holes cut in it, and that was your clothes. Your shirt, pants, and underclothes, or whatever you want to call it, dress. We had no shoes. We had to kill what we eat. We didn't have a stove. We really didn't even have a house. We lived, laid on the grass, on the dirt. The hay was our bed, and we covered with the hay.
What about when
Was our cover. We laid with snakes. We ate snakes. We ate the crickets. We ate the worms. We ate the birds. We ate the bird eggs. We ate the rabbits. We ate the frogs. We were just kind of like Tarzan. Whatever was there.
Bro, they treated us like animals. These folks, she said they were sleeping on the hay. We ate the frogs, we ate the snakes, we ate the eggs. You just literally living off the land. Literally.
Come in front of you, that was your meal, if you caught it. And that was our motto. It was more than me, but I don't call names. But if we caught a worm, each one of us took a bite of that worm. If we caught a cricket, although you think a cricket is dope, but we broke it into pieces that each one of us could have a piece of that cricket. If we caught a fish that done washed on the bank side, whatever, when we bit it, everybody took a bite.
President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. By 1865, the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery, had become constitutional law in most states, and in 1865, Lincoln became the first U.S. president to be assassinated. During Reconstruction, most southern states ratified the 13th Amendment. However, they also put in place a series of laws that severely restricted the rights of African Americans called the Black Codes. Mississippi was the first state to institute the Black Codes, and its legislators didn't ratify the 13th Amendment until March 16, 1995. Johnny Thomas is mayor of Glendora, Mississippi. Thomas also grew up in slavery.
Everybody else was in charge of you. That was a big part of me looking at how we had to go to the owners to get anything. They had their own plantation store. That's where we had to eat from. That's where my mom was always in debt. We never had anything. growing up. That was tough time.
Now, what were you telling me about this area?
Oh, well, I was just talking about this being a plantation type of community, and pretty much in the shape that it's in, because individuals hoped that it went back to the cotton field as such.
What do you mean by plantation type?
Well, we was created around plantations. This entire area here was pretty much farmers, and now they are pretty much mechanized and corporate farming. Therefore, leaving individuals here to fend for themselves and hopefully to keep the status quo. When I say status quo, keeping individuals without. It is their mission, it seems, that this community stay poor as it was in the past. I'm a part of the Swan Lake. The Swan Lake community was owned by the Floats. And the Floats own the plantation in Swan Lake as well as in Glendora.
In July of 2009, not only did we interview May Louise Miller, who was a former slave until the 1960s, but we uncovered a present-day plantation. We're concealing the identities of those living on this plantation to protect them from any repercussions.
If you have housing in the city which you moved, where you would pay like $70 a month?
Well, as long as it's around where I stay, yeah, I can do that.
We couldn't get them to say anything about the owners on camera, but they explained to us off camera exactly what was going on, and they said to us if we were able to get them off of the plantation, that they would give us the full story on camera. Human rights activist and writer Dick Gregory explains the mentality
As long as it's around where I stay.
Those living on this plantation to protect them from any repercussions.
If you have housing in the city which you moved, where you would pay like $70 a month?
Well, as long as it's around where I stay, yeah, I can do that.
We couldn't get them to say anything about the owners on camera, but they explained to us off camera exactly what was going on, and they said to us if we were able to get them off of the plantation, that they would give us the full story on camera. Human rights activist and writer Dick Gregory explains the mentality of present-day slavery.
And so you sit and you look at a mentality. And so when I looked at that film, I didn't think about my mother. They would bring my mother to the house. And when they bring my mother to the house, one of us would have to go with my mother. So the master said. And so this was the particular time that I had to go with my mom. So they raped my mom. And when it came to me, I was sitting there crying because, when you don't know what's going on, I was sitting up there crying. And so the lady said, they coming to me. So the master's wife said to him, and the other brothers or whoever they were, and she said, and they was sort of looking, and she said, oh no, honey, no. And she says, she's not even a heifer yet. I didn't learn what that word was till over in the 70s. And she said, she's not even a heifer yet. She's just a yearling. You can't. But they gagged my mouth, and they raped me just like they did my mama. And there I was laying in that pile of blood, a little bit of girl didn't know what to do. And his wife had to clean me up. But that never stopped. And I remember telling my mom, if you go tell that old nigger what happened here today, we's gonna kill everybody.
We took this issue of present-day slavery, Peonage to Capitol Hill, we contacted members of Congress to get a reaction, but were not surprised when they said they would, but never set up a time to be interviewed. Radio talk show host George Wilson has been reporting from Capitol Hill for over 30 years. He's well known by every member of Congress and the Senate, but none of them would give him an interview on present-day slavery and or peonage either, even though they promised they would.
We all had been led to believe that somehow we were past slavery and its vestiges, and we were moving on to a better day. Well, seeing the footage that I saw and realizing that many of my brothers and sisters are living in not only abject poverty, but all the vestiges of slavery, it was saddening, to say the least. And it really tells me that here on Capitol Hill, we have to have lawmakers talking about this very subject. This is not something that's going away anytime soon, and this matter needs to be addressed at the highest levels of the government.
Why do you think it haven't been addressed? Because as you saw, there are documents already at the Justice Department. What's going on?
Well, it would take some, what the lawmakers like to call heat from the streets. And I think there has to be an outcry among people to say, look, this is still going on. I have relatives who are living this way, or I know of situations like this, and we have to have hearings here on Capitol Hill about it. So I think it starts out with lawmakers knowing. And I was looking at Glendora, Mississippi, and I'm almost certain that that's in Congressman Benny Thompson's district. Anytime you're talking about the Delta, you're talking about Benny Thompson. So
we're concealing the identities of those living on this planet.
Hey man, I'm gonna conclude. This is why I say it's so important to know like your history. A lot of kids don't even know when slavery supposedly ended or what the whole war was about. If you don't know where you've been, sometimes it's hard to figure out where you're going. And sometimes you get caught up in the sauce. And things that did not work in the past, you think that they will work in the future. Like a couple of years ago, I think we had a police shooting. Police killed the unarmed black man again in Atlanta. And this was around about when COVID hit. But I just remember everybody being in the streets. Like, it felt good to be out here. But nothing happens. Nothing has happened. No progressive movement was sparked by us marching in these streets, bro. That's not how it works. It just hasn't happened. It just doesn't happen. It's not. But if you don't know where you've been and you're trying to scope the future, then you'll redo unsuccessful, or you'll commit unsuccessful acts. And we'll just end up going in a circle. Hey man, leave comments, man. Point me in some type of direction. I'm gonna dive deeper with this. This is a very emotional topic. A lot of people gonna see the term slavery and it's just gonna turn them off. But this 2009 right here, that's July 2009. I wonder what this looked like. And this is the crazy part. I have rode by places, and I want to say housed in Mississippi, but I worked in Mississippi for a couple of months, man, and it just is a different ball game. It's a different ball game, man, and I can see in rural places of Mississippi, man, where slavery could still be taking place. It's frightening. It's frightening, but we ain't in slavery no more. Shit me. We still in slavery. That's 2009, bro. That's 2009. Hey, like, share, subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all.